He's like, you're one of my best friends in here, man. Like, I love you so much. And Jeremiah gave nothing back, and I loved it. He wasn't like, I love you too. He wasn't like, you're one of my best friends either, because he was like, fuck this. This is a betrayal. He was dead right. It was such a betrayal. So I felt like that was the thing I wanted to protest. And then the last thing was related to that was when Nick said, well, we have to leave everything. The past is the past, and there's a lot of opportunity here. Meaning him having Andreina. That's all that can mean. He said that after Jeremiah was kicked out. I was like, gross. He's so quick to move on. He's like all over it, which is why I felt like a lot of it was to get Jeremiah out so he could have Andreina, because then he was so focused on the opportunity after he left. There's my fall.
Yeah. No, that was excellent. I think
Nicholas.
you nailed it. Yeah, Nick.
Nick, come on.
Welcome, friends, to Reality Test. What is reality testing, you may ask? Well, it's something we all do every day, maybe with our loved ones over dinner, with coworkers at the water cooler, etc., when we check our subjective or personal emotions, thoughts, and so forth against objective or sort of more agreed upon fact-based reality. Although, because Dr. Ray and I, Dr. Kay, are social constructionists, we don't actually believe there's one true objective reality, but rather our own personal versions of it constructed in the context of relationships. But you get the idea. So here in Reality Test, we're going to be testing the castmate realities and the producer antics of our favorite reality TV shows against what we know as licensed psychologists about the reality out here, off of our TVs. We hope you'll join us as we attempt to reality test. That's it. Thanks, y'all. Now check out our campy theme song.
Are you feeling stressed? Your head's all messed? Well, let's forget all the rest. Fuck it, we're blessed, cause it's time to talk reality test. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. What?
I'm Dr. Ray. Wait, did you say that? I'm getting your line.
I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. Kay.
Whoa.
It's trippy when we're in person together.
I was like,
You're like, what is it? You're looking at me like, okay, and yes.
And I'm like, didn't I
and then
do
I
it?
stole your line.
No, I'm like, wait, you're not Dr. Ray. And I'm like, oh, wait, that was my line. Wow. Are we keeping this?
I don't know. I feel like we could keep part of it. It was kind of fun.
Something.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy here. We're also just really excited because we're in person for the third time.
It's so exciting.
For the third time. I love it so much.
It's great.
It is. It's really nice. And there's so much like combining of worlds happening. You know, it's fun because I always see this setting when we're doing this, but I don't get to see you. And now you get to see my setting when we do this.
I love it. And Dr. Kay's house is absolutely beautiful. It is like the quintessential New England, like cottage kind of vibes. And so it's giving me very nice and warm feels.
Cozy, comfy.
Very cozy, comfy. Yes.
Love that. Love to have you here.
Yay.
That's fun. And it's a beautiful day. It's nice with these, windows, like you're saying, natural light. Makes it much better mood lighting, really.
I don't think I realized how many windows there were.
Yeah.
And like, that's just lovely.
It's necessary. Good for you.
Yes.
It's good for you.
Yes.
It is much more like mood uplifting. I had an office one year during my training that was an old closet.
Oh, hell
and it was awful. No windows, no like airflow. It just like it was so depressing. It's awful. You need light.
One of my friends had that on internship. We fucking pick straws. So I'm the like optics. I'm the only white woman at this internship. I get the fucking big office with windows. And I'm like, okay, I can't be fragile about this.
Right. You can't be like, no, I can't take it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I had the best office by far. And my friend was in a fucking closet. And she was so close. I'm like, that is a tough lot in life.
So brutal. I'm glad you like drew straws. So that was like the most even way to do it.
But still, I'm
it's
like,
tough.
of fucking course. I'm like, don't give me the biggest straw. And I'm like, that's how these things go.
Great. It must be in just this situation right here.
Yep.
Such a unique one. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, that is tough. Oh, man. So sometimes, they're pretty brutal to us when we're in training. Just put us in a closet. It's like Harry Potter vibes.
I was like, what the? It really was. And like, it makes, I think when you're a trainee already, your status is like not as,
recognized.
Right.
Low on the pole. You know what? I think low on the totem pole is appropriationist, right?
I
feel like it's a native concept of having totem poles. Yeah. And I think that's inappropriate for us to use it. So I'm not going to say low on the totem pole. I'll say like low in the hierarchy.
Yes. And so it's like a reminder of your status just in the interaction of how, and it's also not, when you're a therapist, it is not fun to be that close to a client. I don't like it. Yeah. And there are certain clients where I'm like, nope. Yeah. we need more.
Go to the two corners of the room, get as far apart as you can. Yes. Yeah, the tightness of the rooms is brutal, and then just like the closeness of it feels very, I guess it's womb-like in some ways, but it feels like a little claustrophobic sometimes. It's rude. And that was at a VA where already the hierarchy is so established. It's like I don't really need an extra level of reminder.
No.
I'll go back to my closet now. Bye.
Goodbye. See you later.
See you at the next talk. Oof. But yeah, it's fine. I liked my clients there.
That's great.
Yeah. I had a 94-year-old woman veteran who's just the sweetest baby angel.
Aww.
Yeah, it was really nice. So there are positive things. I have positive memories as well, not just the closet.
Yes.
We're rambling. So that's my check-in. I'm gonna use that as my check-in. These are things. This is my the like free association. That was my check-in. My check-in was my free association with general things we're talking about.
Yes, and my check-in is getting to go to Dr. K's house. It's an absolute delight.
We're play lawn games. Yeah.
We're going to play lawn games. We're drinking champagne. We're having a grand old time.
Cheers.
And we get to talk to you all about reality TV, which is always fun.
We couldn't even help talking about it on our own too, because it's good stuff happening.
Oh my God, y'all.
Let's get the fuck started. I'm excited.
Yay!
There were so many things I protested. I was like, I don't even know really where to start. There's just so much.
Cannot wait.
For those who do not know, we're talking about Love Island, which would we. Also, we are therapists, but we're not your therapist. Nope. Forgot this last episode, I just realized. We're also not the therapist of these folks. Nope. We are making assumptions sometimes, or like playing with ideas that are psychological, but we of course cannot diagnose them without doing formal assessment. So we're just thinking about things in an open, general way, and invite you to do that with us in a non-judgmental way as much as possible. So we are talking about Love Island today, and we're using our award system. So that means we have 8 awards, things like protest, this mess. They all have a test somewhere in their name because we are reality test after all. So first award, what mess did you protest? Because protest this mess is the award for meanest, saddest, drunkest, most obnoxious, etc. moment. Or castmate.
Most obnoxious for me was, so Jeremiah getting voted off. As we discussed, the internet has had its feelings about this. I agree with the feelings. I think it was a petty move. I think that they are being a little petty. What bothered me in particular was when Taylor said it was nothing personal. I'm like, you fucking lie. Yeah, it was so very personal. It could not have been more personal.
Such a betrayal.
Y'all decided you didn't like him or didn't like the way he was moving. And I even, you know what I think happened actually? I think they saw that America voted to keep Huda.
Yes.
And they are concerned about how they're coming off. So they were like, oh, America's siding with Huda and must think Jeremiah is the bad guy. And
right, they're going with her. Okay, see, that's awesome. I love that take, because the other take and what I thought you were going to say is the reverse of that too, which is where they sort of saved Jeremiah from Huda. They like put him with someone else and sort of seemed to save him from Huda in that move, like when they put him with Iris or whatever. And so I could see them also being like, oh no, he's like loved by America and a threat.
Oh.
You know, like Ace could. Because Ace clearly is like, what can I get rid of in terms of threats? Yeah.
And he's a good looking dude.
And Jeremiah is tall and, you know, good looking and also like clearly connecting quickly. And I think that's something where Ace is not like that really. And so that would make it a threat, because America loves it when there's a couple that sort of like does the thing and sticks it out. So he calls him like gaming, even though I think he just is quick to attach. And he's just, I don't know.
I think he is quick to attach. Yeah. I think it was a little quick. Granted, I think
him and Huda was quick. Yeah,
it was. But I do think they saw, Huda got saved. Yeah. Jeremiah got put in the bottom 3. Optics-wise.
Yeah.
This will make us look good.
Yeah. Then they took the opportunity to get him out. Exactly. Yeah. That's a good point, because that was that very fire pit. Because the fire pit before that was the one where he got saved from Huda by being put with Iris, and it seemed like America loved him. Because that seemed like that was the switch with them when they started talking shit about him all the time. Like they were watching him like, yeah. And like Nick was so clearly jealous about Andreina, like the way that he looked at Jeremiah about that. I just was like, you have beautiful Sierra. Like, what are you doing? Like, back off. Yeah.
Emotionally intelligent.
Oh my gosh.
Lovely.
Amazing. Mature.
I love
present.
You, Sierra. I have thoughts about Nick and Alondria that might make it seem like I don't love you, Sierra, but I do.
Preview.
Just so you know. I love you.
Well, I love her with Elon.
Yeah,
they're the same pace. Yeah,
they work good.
He's also emotionally intelligent.
Yeah,
I really like the way he's like able to talk about relationships. He's like meta communicates in a way that I think Nick really stumbles. Like he tries, but he doesn't land it. When he had like the conversation they had about staying open, he just really wasn't meeting her emotionally. Like he really was in his own world. And I think Elon is very able to be like, here we are. Let's talk about it more explicitly in a beautiful way. She needs it.
And he recognizes, I think, that she's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch.
And he's seen the way she's like been in the villa, and she's just a delight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like no notes.
True delight she is. And I love it. And very sexy too. Like the thing with the when they were competing and she she just like leveled up that game. Like, oh my God, amazing. Good for her.
She rocks.
She does. I love her so much. And I want to see her continue to do beautiful things for herself, like take care of herself first and foremost. I feel like I was about to say something about the way that she was with Elon, or maybe Elon. I'm bummed that she's trying to like privilege the thing with Nick.
I know.
Because I also, for your point too, that he seems great with Alondria. Like I want her to move on and have Elon and not worry about it and just be happy with.
I agree.
But she is attached. She attached as well. Yeah.
Which fair enough. They've spent a lot of time together. But I think that voice in her head that's like, is there a deeper connection elsewhere?
Yeah. I don't want to betray. Right. About Elon, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, should I keep pursuing this? Or they really switched up Casa this year. This is a whole other conversation. We've done one award, half of award, but they really switched up Casa in a big way. So anybody who doesn't watch Love Island or didn't see the season, Casa Amor is where half of the cast of one gender goes away to an additional little villa called Casa Amor, and then they like meet other people, like 5 new guys here and 5 new girls for the old OG men. And so then they like get to mingle with new people. Historically, they just like mingled with them, and then they decide if they want to bring someone back with them to the main villa. This year, they were forced to couple up, so they had to. I loved it
because I think the women
they always have a hard time.
Yeah, because they care more about people, which is great,
and they don't want to betray their honey or whatever. Whereas the men just like dig right in. They're like, I'm given permission. I have a question for you. One is that the question I have about it is, haven't they always said you're single again? Like, I feel like they've always said that. They're sort of like, so think of yourself as single. Like, cause I remember people using that. Like, they're always like, well, we're single now. Like, even though they knew they weren't, like, they were sort of like, well, we're like,
I can't remember.
I know. I feel like I have to go back.
Sense.
I felt like that part wasn't new, but they acted like it was. So then I was like, well, maybe I'm wrong. But I just remember them relying on that a lot, being like, well, we're technically single, even though like everyone knew that that's not really true. So maybe what was new is that they made it really explicit. They're like, stop it right now. You are definitely single. You're recoupling.
This is a whole new villa. Yeah.
Recoupling makes it different in terms of being single.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, right?
I think the single thing probably was true. I don't remember it, but it sounds right.
Yeah, I feel like it was such a dynamic. And it kind of had to be, because otherwise you are in a couple. Like, well, how would you mingle with new people, especially the women? That might have been part of why it was hard if they didn't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Casa. Oh, so big days. These are big days. And we should say that this was episode 18 to today, which I don't know, 20 something. Yeah. Episode 20 something. It's been 5 days or something. So I love that. My protest this mess was Nick wanting Jeremiah out. I felt like he wanted him out, including because he wanted Andreina to himself. And I felt like that was like, he was so clearly like into Andreina and didn't want to like compete. And if you looked at all the other women, like if they went, the man would have been alone. Whereas if Jeremiah went, or like opposite, if for any of the other men that were vulnerable, if they went, that woman that they're with would be alone and have no one else. Whereas if Jeremiah went, Andreina could have Nick. So it's like the way the pairings were. Yeah, it felt very self-serving in that way.
Nick.
But also Ace, of course, had been like against Jeremiah for a while. They all like would sit there talking shit about him while he's connecting with people. So brutal.
Mean.
I loved that because at first Jeremiah didn't notice this was happening. The like mean guy click, and then he started noticing it, and I was like, good for you. Like he was saying things. He's like, yeah, I only have Austin and Andreina on my side, like being really clear that those other guys are not embracing him anymore. And he thought Nick was his best friend. He had Hood to tell Nick about being a mom because he wanted to be able to talk to Nick about it because he thought Nick was his best friend. So then Nick, what I was saying I want to protest is after doing that, getting Jeremiah out, he's total fake ass asshole and saying goodbye. He's like, you're one of my best friends in here, man. Like, I love you so much. And Jeremiah gave nothing back, and I loved it. He wasn't like, I love you too. He wasn't like, you're one of my best friends either, because he was like, fuck this is a betrayal. He was dead right. It was such a betrayal. So I felt like that was the thing I wanted to protest. And then the last thing was related to that was when Nick said, well, we have to leave everything. The past is the past, and there's a lot of opportunity here. Meaning him having Andreina. That's all that could mean. He said that after Jeremiah was kicked out. I was like, gross. He's so quick to move on. He's like all over it, which is why I felt like a lot of it was to get Jeremiah out so he could have Andreina, because then he was so focused on the opportunity after he left. There's my fall.
Yeah. No, that was excellent. I think
Nicholas.
you nailed it. Yeah, Nick.
Nick, come on.
Nick, you only, along with Alandria, because damn.
Yeah, he needs her, like, he needs to learn from her. I feel like she would really give him some, like, life growth.
And I think he wants to learn from her in a way that I'm like,
yeah, get it.
So we like it.
It's a good side of him.
Yes, we love to see it. So who was doing the mostest? I mean, lots of people were doing a lot of things, but yeah, who was doing the mostest? Who was the most cringe or embarrassing for you this week?
I couldn't remember his name at first, so I said the guy with iris, question mark, question mark. His name is Zach, but he's the other Zach, not the British Asian model. Yeah. So he is so fucking vapid, and I hate to use that word, but he's so conceited and vapid. I had the hardest time watching him with iris.
The one with the nose ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's like cute and like, you know, has potential, but like, oh my God. Awkward. So when they were talking, they were talking about traveling, and he's like, where's your next spot? And she goes, Australia. And he goes, really? And she's like, yeah, I feel like it'd be really cool. He's like, Australia's great. And he like kind of smirks because he's excited to be like, and by saying like Australia's great, it's clear to her now that he's been there. And so then she goes, have you been there? He's like, of course. What? What?
What do you mean, of course?
What the fuck? Australia is like the opposite side of the earth, sir. So like anyone would not guess that, actually, that you'd been there. Right. That's like one of the few places no one would be like, oh, you've gone across the world to that. You know? It just felt so conceited. I was like, gross. Don't and like
awkward.
This. So awkward.
It's a shame because he's kind of cute, but
he is cute.
Weird.
He is cute. But yeah, I just can't. I think he's still young. You know what I mean? I feel like he's still learning how to like actually own himself and his looks too. Like he's sort of like needs this extra thing to be like, look how cool. And he's not like fun to talk to. It's not even just fun. He's like not interesting to talk to.
Which is a shame.
It's a shame.
That's probably hard when you're that attractive and then not that.
Well, that's the thing is like a lot of people, because they're attractive enough, they don't have to learn how to like engage people in other ways. Right? They get things because they're attractive just on their own.
Tough hang.
Yeah, that's a theory. I don't know that that's true, but it seems to be true.
They call it pretty privilege, the youngsters.
Yes.
So I think it's a thing.
Yes. And I think there is beauty privilege in terms of like a lot of things, like getting away without a ticket, or like, you know, there's certain things I think beauty privilege really shows up in a big way. My husband and I talk about it a lot and sort of thinking about how that comes into play. And it's similar to white privilege too, in a lot of ways, in the way that it can help you get certain things that you wouldn't otherwise. But that is a good point about beauty privilege. That's an opposite thing. That's a negative thing. Is that like then with the beauty privilege, you might not learn how to, or pretty privilege, you might not learn how to engage in other ways. Or like, I think people who like a sense of humor often too is not there. You know, I feel like that they don't need to. But then there's beautiful people that are super funny and super engaging. So it's not like you have to do that. But just in some cases, I feel like they haven't had to learn how to like be really like in a good co-regulated relationship.
And then people might be looking for them to just be pretty.
Yes,
which is
right.
unfair.
They also don't expect more from them, so they don't have to learn how to do more either. Great point.
It's tough in these streets.
Yeah, there are downsides to privilege sometimes.
Yes, so indeed.
Tell me what your mosTEST was. Like, who did the mosTEST?
Do not remember, but I will. I will now. Cringe. TJ giving low kissing grades to all of the women. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's so weird. Why?
So I was watching him kiss. Yeah, he is clearly not a good kisser.
Right. So he has a weird expectation then. He like wants a thing that they were not giving because it's a weird thing he wants.
Yeah, because he's not a good relational kisser or whatever. But I was like, fuck you. And I loved that Ariana was like building up the girls and was like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
what up?
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm not a fan. I think a lot of people are feeling that way after this week, but it's just, he just doesn't have a lot of personality, does he?
No, it's another person relying on his looks, I think.
Yeah.
Like Iris called him Leonardo DiCaprio or something. Like I feel like he relies a little bit on it. And he's definitely really privileged. Like there's a lot of that.
You can feel and like, and then he called out the Calabasas person, and then she was like, I'm not that privileged. And I'm like, bitch, you are.
Compared to what?
I think you are. And I think he is too.
Yes,
I think that was a game sees game moment.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, and I don't mind people having privilege. I have privilege, like whatever. People have privilege. I think it's just the way he like
doesn't own it.
He's just not doing it for me.
No, he just like walks with that air without like acknowledging like I come from a lot of privilege, and like so I'm like looking for somebody that wants to like figure this life out with me and like, you know, benefit from it, but like also be able to challenge it or whatever. Like there's a whole way he could talk about it, wrap it in, and not look like such an asshole. Like there's just a way he just like holds the air of it without like, and then doesn't seem open to like someone really affecting him.
Yeah,
he did a little bit with Iris. There was like a moment of it when they were first together, but like now that they're not together anymore, I haven't seen anything like that from him since. Even her asking him, the other girl that was like, you gave me a 2, or like you rated me low, and he was like, oh, huh? And he's like trying to fix it because he wanted to stay. He did not do a good job fixing it.
He didn't even say I'm sorry.
No, exactly.
If he said I'm sorry, I was being a dick. That wasn't cool.
I was rating based on like something else. I was worried that Iris was there, and I was trying to rate low because I thought Iris was going to come along, and I didn't want to give everyone high numbers. He never gave any explanation.
No, he was just like, his personality is like, fucking sandpaper to me. It's just not, it's not
grating.
working. It's grating. It's boring. It's not
Love it.
working.
That's hilarious.
Too much work, not a lot of output.
Yes,
you know?
yeah, there's
like,
not
it's
a whole
just
lot of
not,
output. No.
it's not it for me. Sorry, TJ. I'm sure you're a well-rounded human. Just what I'm seeing
He'll keep
on.
becoming more well-rounded as time goes by. He'll
Yeah.
learn more from watching this too.
I hope so.
I feel like there are moments straight to camera that I see him.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like only.
Mhm.
Anytime he's talking to other people, I'm like, I'm not here for it. But he's talking
Yeah.
straight to camera. There are moments where I'm like, okay, I see what's happening with you. And like, there are moments that are endearing. They're
Mm.
brief and they're like far apart. But when they happen, I'm like, okay, there's TJ. But like
There's
most of the time,
something.
yeah. It's like his false self is out and about mostly. And so
Mhm.
his true self sometimes pops in for a second on the straight to camera. But I really don't see his true self. I think there was a couple moments. So that's where I guess it is with Iris. Is I felt like he was his true self a little bit in some of their
Yeah.
like charming play or whatever.
Yeah, he's not the most playful, but he can get a little
Mhm.
playful.
He was actually really funny with Huda.
Oh
It's-
yeah, they were kind of having fun
I
together.
was like, okay.
But then he was like, but you know what? It was nice of him to be like, I'm not interested.
I loved it. I thought that was great. He just like straight up, he's like, I just want you to know, because she pulled him again.
Yeah.
And she had asked him to pull her, and he didn't. And then she pulled him
Aw,
again. Yeah, so that he
TJ.
could tell her that. Well, because I think it was
Oh,
sending
yeah.
a sign, which I think is fair. But then she pulled him again, so he told her directly. But yeah, the first time they talked, I noticed he was way more snarky, sassy, but I liked it. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
mean. And so I felt like it's because he felt more power with Huda than anyone else, because he wasn't trying to get
Oh.
with her.
Because he had seen the show
Yeah.
and seen that sucks for her.
Which, like, what a dynamic that Love Island offers, that people live have seen the show and then enter into the show having seen what has just happened.
And then
Yeah,
they're
and they have
probably
all
all
these views.
looking for
Mhm.
cues on how they're being
Mhm,
perceived from
exactly.
these new people. I
Mhm.
sure would be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then sometimes you get asked straight out, too. And then,
Yeah.
like, and that, like, I remember Aaron once asked if they knew they were having sex, like, if the public knew, and they're like, yeah, we get what the shower thing is. Like, he was like, oh, fuck. Like, yeah, they've
Oh my
definitely,
God,
there's, like,
Aaron.
some, yeah. Yeah, so I think that's just what a cool thing that Love Island offers.
Mhm.
It's such a unique thing. And yeah, people get a little bit of feedback that way, but also people come in with preconceptions based on producers, because producers are deciding what we're seeing. So like
Mhm.
it's the edit, and then that's shitty for Huda because she gets, if she did have a bad edit, then that's what people are seeing when they come in.
And I think she's getting the redemption arc at it. Because even Ariana was like, I hope she gets her redemption arc. I'm like, yep, that's what they're doing.
Totally.
And
And give her
all-
that. And she's, yeah,
She should
deserves
get
it.
that.
She deserves
Yeah.
it. I feel like that's the main thing a lot of reality TV shows do. They like do the rise and fall.
Mhm.
Like I've noticed that a lot with a lot of the housewives shows, that like someone has a
Yeah.
terrible season, the next season it's up. Like they do that a lot. Like a Sigh on New York, Real Housewives of New York. Like they do a Bryn, what a great season,
Oh
now
my
bad
God.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like that's a big part of their game, kind of. Or like, what's the word? Marketing or whatever. It's not
Yeah.
that. It's like production, right? It's part of how they produce.
Producer
Yeah,
antics.
it's how they produce.
Yes.
It's producer antics.
Yes.
And I don't, I kind of get it. But like the total up and total down isn't realistic. Like we all have
Mhm.
ups and downs,
All
same
the
day.
time.
Yeah,
Yep.
same time. We all have goods and bad parts. So I wish they were more sort of whole object about it.
Mhm.
I think they kind of were. And now I say that, I think they kind of were with Bryn. Like I felt like there were moments where like you could connect with her
Yeah.
still.
If you were looking for it.
You're right.
If you weren't.
If you're not
then-
trauma sensitive, you wouldn't
Yeah, you'd be like, fuck
villainize
this.
it. Yeah, she was totally villainized. You're right. Yeah, that's such a great point. I bet there are moments where I feel like I'm more whole object about it, even though the production isn't. Like I bet we are thinking about how like we can have more empathy for people that you can tell are actually struggling,
Mhm.
even though it looks targeted at other people. Look, it's just like
Oh,
it's just tangentially
yeah,
around.
Sorry,
no,
guys.
that's totally
we
me.
don't
I'm
do
like,
this in
listen to this thing.
person that much.
Exactly,
We're just
I'm just vibing about this content. And also like that's a lot of those are like dynamics that are like in the air. And I like that we were hitting on them a little bit because we don't usually get to do that.
Yeah,
They're not as like anchored to the concrete words.
it's fun.
I love it.
But did you do yours yet?
Yeah, I did the
cringe.
mostest.
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
I did
great.
that guy. Zach was a vapid.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I
Sorry,
even
Zach, I wanna
forgot
like you.
about him.
I know. That's
Like,
the other
as a
thing. He's sort of like,
person,
yeah.
he's
he, like,
pretty
recedes.
forgettable.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor guy.
I know I feel bad for Iris too.
Ugh, tough hang.
Okay. So then that means our next one is testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing is about the best production ad or the worst production antic, producer antic. So basically what I like about this one is that like Game of Roses, it's about like pointing out the things that production has a hand in, even though they pretend like they don't have a hand in things. They pretend it's all natural reality. So what kind of thing did you think was great or bad about the production antics?
I'm going to say this multiple times because I feel strongly. Nick and Alandria, or Alandria. Sorry, which is it?
I've heard both. I think it's Alandria.
Alandria.
I think so, yeah.
Keeping them was great.
Mhm.
That was such a drama-filled episode. It was so intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I was not clocking that they had chemistry.
No.
I looked it up on TikTok today.
Yeah.
Apparently people were.
Yeah.
Like it was a thing that some people were shipping. I wasn't shipping it. I missed it. Because I think like you were focused on her and Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which also is there if you take clips from that.
Yeah. It's like she's a
figuring
flirty
people
person.
out. Yeah, figuring people out, which is the point of it.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's mature enough not to blow things up while doing it. You know, she can really like taste test and decide without, because even with Nick, she sort of eases into it once he comes on to her. She's like, okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, the way he looks at her, I was swooning. And clearly production saw something with them that made them think, because they would not have gotten rid of the two of them.
No.
That would have been, they maybe one, but not both.
No, they weren't going to do that.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So they clearly saw something and were like, this might work. We might be able to do
Give him a little
something
date.
here.
Yeah.
And the way he looks at her, amazing. I'm obsessed with, I have shipped this hard. I think that she could make him a much better person.
Fact.
And I'm very endeared by this coupling.
That's great.
And I'm glad that production did it.
Yeah.
I think they did.
They're very orchestrating of it. Totally. I
credit
agree.
where credit's due.
Totally. Yeah. When he first said, like, I have been interested in you, he like took her hand or something. I was like, whoa. Whoa,
I know. I was like, are you? At first I was like, they're just bullshitting for the show. But then I was like, I don't actually think they are.
There's
I think
like real
they have
energy
chemistry.
Here. Yeah, totally. I can see that. I totally get that. I think I love that. I'm going to leave it. I love it because I'm going to come back to that too. I feel a little bit, I'm suspicious of Nick, which I feel bad about, but it's just like how I feel about him.
I do worry
partly because he's
going to go back to Sierra.
Yeah, I feel like that's a threat. And then also I just feel like because he's in Ace's, like he wants to impress Ace so badly and Ace is playing such a game, like he is gaming. It makes me worried that Nick can't help but like absorb some of that. And I do believe he's been interested in Alondria to like taste test. It feels like taste testing though to me. It doesn't feel like he wants to like develop a longer relationship. But like at the same time, I loved that he would tell Taylor what she needed from Taylor. Like he wasn't trying to disrupt her thing with Taylor.
No.
I liked that. That's the way to do it. That felt better to me at least.
I think he's trying because he respects both parties.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I worry that it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
I love watching them together. The way he looked at her, I was
the
like,
physical chemistry is there.
Oh
Yeah.
God, they've got that. And I think they're wondering if there's more. I don't know.
I get that totally. I would wonder if there's more too. And I think they're sort of at different, like her emotional intelligence. I think you're right. She would help elevate him. And he has moments of good emotional intelligence. I just think his ability to communicate around relationships and to like balance his needs with someone else's needs is not quite there. It's not fully developed, and hers is. And I feel like that could be bad for her. Like she could be giving more than she's getting a little bit.
Which she might be used to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which it already feels like with Taylor, frankly, to me.
Yeah.
Like she's playing the dates. She even brought that up. She's the one who like brought like a kissing thing.
Taylor sucks. Seeing the way that Alondria and Nick had chemistry versus her and Taylor.
Oh my gosh, first, night and day.
Fuck Taylor, first of all. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he didn't like her. It was just so... And he likes this other chick, and that's great. But like have the self-awareness to know when you don't like someone. Because they have -10 chemistry.
Yeah.
Actually, when they interact, I cringe.
It is really awkward.
Yeah. When Nick and Alondria interact, I was like, damn! So it's just... So it's like, I think I'm happy for her. You're right. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Something.
I'll go with you as well. Yeah. Because the like really cynical way to look at it is like, who does Nick have if he doesn't have Alondria? Like, how does he stay? Because he just heard from Alondria that Sierra has someone else.
Yeah.
And then also he knows that Shelley might be moving on. It sounds like everybody sort of like has moved. And so he's sort of like, well, what's my ticket? Because that's what a lot of moves felt like by a lot of them. Like it felt like Ace's sort of like, where's my next move? You know?
Yeah.
Did you hear that people found, people found a video that he made for Shelley for Valentine's Day? Ace did. So remember how we were like, it feels like they know each other more than that. Like, I don't think they just met outside a club. Like, sure enough, he like made a social media video for her for Valentine's Day. So they definitely knew each other well. Yep. Maybe they didn't more than kiss one night, but they definitely were close. So I feel like if he and Shelley had really started together, which they were going to, because she got on his heart, but Ulysses stole him, then they would have done the same thing Jeremiah and Huda did. They would have been like diehard the whole way. So it almost feels like he's jealous of Jeremiah that he was able to do that when he and Shelley weren't able to really match until week or whatever. Yeah.
Shady. He's a shady little shit. Shelley deserves better than him. Honestly.
I know. Yeah. I know. Totally. And I also get like he's charming and has cute dimples and like, you know, like I see a little bit of what she sees in him because she only sees that perspective. Like only, you know, it's like one side of his like hexagonal sides.
Yeah.
You know,
where he's kind of being a little shit.
Mhm.
I will say the way that Nick looks at Alondria,
Mhm.
and I think he and Sierra have chemistry. I don't
Me
think
too.
they have that much chemistry.
No, you're right. It's different.
I was like, whoa.
I have to agree with that. It is different. Yeah. There's something with me, like, I'm having this, like, feeling about, like, white men and black women,
Yeah,
like, the,
yeah.
like, fantasizing about, and,
Or
like, in a way that,
fetishizing,
right,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
You're probably onto something.
I just, like, because I just don't, Nick's not that aware. You know, it's just, like,
No.
he's not that aware. So I feel like that could be an element without him realizing it, because there is something about how he's like, I really just want it. Like, I really want it. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he does a good job of saying, like, I want to explore what we have, kind of, but there's a part of it where I just feel like it is so hot that just feels like it's it feels like, how could it not kind of be relevant? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it probably
Mhm.
is.
And, like, to her credit, like, if that's something she's clocked and is like, let's do it, like, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe that's also hot for her still. So I don't want to, like, take that away. It's like, to each their own, but
Yeah, if you
It's
got
hard not to
crazy
name it.
chemistry,
Yeah,
you
right?
got crazy chemistry. And
Right.
they do.
they do.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think he does way more, like, him with Jaden. Like, I thought he had no chemistry with her at all.
Who was
Like,
Jaden?
she was the one who chose Austin instead of him.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was tough. They were not.
She was so flat affect.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that made me, I'm like, because when that happened, I was like, do you not like black women or something?
Mm.
And that, because I was like, because he was like, she's not really my type. And I'm like, what do you mean by that?
Wasn't Jaden white? Jaden was the one that was like, that chose
Oh.
Austin over him. Or she might not be. She might be. She looks a little racially ambiguous, but I think she's white.
JK. My apologies.
There's Coco and Clark. Those are the two black women.
Oh, I
love
think it
Coco.
was Nick. Who Nick was? Nick
Originally
was
paired with,
yes,
which was
and he was
Coco.
like, she's not my
Mhm.
type, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
why
Coco.
not?
Ugh.
She's.
Coco's phenomenal. I love Coco.
I actually love her chemistry with Taylor.
Mhm.
I'm pissed at Taylor because I think he's been a dick, and I think he's being a dick. I think he thinks he's being transparent.
Oh, right. It was Clark. So Clark started with Nick, and then Clark ended up with Taylor, and they have great chemistry. I totally agree with
Yes.
that. Yeah. And I like Clark too, but I love Coco, who was the one who started with Ace and then moved. Or no, she ended up with Ace.
Oh yeah,
She was with Taylor
gorgeous.
and then went
Yeah.
to Ace. I'm obsessed with her. I love her.
She is
She's fantastic.
gorgeous.
Emotionally intelligent. Also, again, like a nice version of sassy, flirty,
Mhm.
very boundaried.
Mhm.
I really enjoy her a lot. She's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
The dynamics are dynamicing.
I love it. They did a great job with the cast for Casa, especially again for the women. It seems like they always do that. Like the women that come in are just like great. You know,
Yes.
and like the men are like take some and lose them.
I really feel that way. I'm
Yeah.
always like, oh, look at these great, hot,
Mhm,
wonderful women. And then I'm
mhm.
like, okay,
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. There were a few in there I was like, could do without.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
fabulous. I love that. That's a great one. I like the Alondria Nick dynamic as a good production ad. They did a great job with orchestrating that.
They did.
I didn't like that they did the like boys decide on a boy to go home and girls decide on a girl to go home, because I knew right away that meant that Jeremiah would be out. And I feel like production had to know that. They had to know when they decided Ace, Nick, and Taylor decide who goes home that would mean Jeremiah's going. It had to. So that felt shitty, because then that's like you were orchestrating him going home, which I think makes sense then why the audience like did the petition to try to get Jeremiah back, because it felt like a betrayal. We're watching them betray him, which production wanted for the drama, and that felt shitty because I didn't need to see that, because we already knew that they were betraying him and sucking in terms of friendship with him. He knew it. He was calling it out finally.
Good for him.
I love it. I love the way he reacted when they were so fake. And he also has said since then in the news, whatever media, that it was betrayal. He called it a betrayal. I'm like,
It was.
good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad he recognizes that and can just call it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I also felt like America has been talking about how they want Austin out since Jump. They're like, as soon as we get an opportunity, we want Austin out because of the MAGA.
Yeah.
And it's such a liberal audience, and he's a MAGA dude. He also apparently has a cherub with a machine gun or something on a tattoo. Yeah, so there's some things people right.
Yeah.
There's some things where people are like, get him out. And so that was interesting because the Jeremiah thing actually protected him. And that means that production protected him, which means they might be protecting
They
someone
are
who's
giving
creating
him
drama.
a nice
Yeah.
arc.
Yeah. So they're protecting someone who creates drama.
Mm.
I'm not here for it. So those are the things I don't like about production. And then the last thing I didn't like about production, so these are all that, is that like that's the other thing I was gonna say about Austin. If the girls had voted, I think Austin would have been out.
Yeah.
And so I think they like that's the other piece of choosing Jeremiah going out. So the last thing I was going to bring up, and then also I just realized Jaden also kept Austin, not Nick. And there was like a close thing right there. Like that could even be influenced by production. So he keeps getting saved. He even
really
says that. He's like,
into it.
I keep getting nervous and then I'm fine.
Yeah,
like, that is weird, Austin. That is weird.
So weird. And His voice does not match the way he looks, so it throws me off every time. It's like, like what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
It's very like spacey, whatever. And then he has like a chiseled, like, kind of like old school Abercrombie and Fitch model kind of look.
90s. Yeah. He looks like he should have a deep voice because he's just a taller human.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's
like a cartoon kind of voice. Yeah. Which can be playful, like if you forget about the MAGA thing, you can sort of get endeared to him a little bit. But just knowing some of those things, it's hard. Like, he wants to be with a woman of color for a partnership, and it just, in my head, I can't help but be like, if she knew, like, and if she knew that you're MAGA, and maybe she does. And that was the other thing. I had this moment where I was like, what if all the guys ostracized Austin because they figured out that he's MAGA? And so then Jeremiah, having also been ostracized by the cool kid clique, had nowhere to go but Austin.
Yeah.
But like, maybe he also was okay with Austin being MAGA, and that's another reason they ostracized him further. Like, if there was another dynamic like that, we wouldn't know about.
Because the optics that we saw was Austin supporting him, which looked very kind.
Exactly. And I love that he had someone in his corner.
Yeah.
But maybe that was the only person Jeremiah could have, and everyone had ostracized him already because of the MAGA thing. So when Jeremiah got ostracized, where does he go?
Yeah.
But he also clearly didn't hang with Austin that much, right? Yeah. Like, did you notice that? He was definitely, Austin was much closer with Charlie. Like, I think Jeremiah just didn't have anywhere to go for certain moments, but I don't think he was there. They were like close.
It seemed like that was a moment for them when Austin was like, supporting him.
Yeah, it was quick, brief little, like, he could hear him out where no one else was listening to him. That moment in the bathroom when he was like, oh, Huda pulled me, and it was after they had broken up, and it was the last time she was going to pull him. Obviously it didn't end up being that, but it was the last time she was pulling him, and Nick was like, I just can't even hear any of that. And he was like, okay, but I get you. I just had to like shut it down, and it feels like we're here to hear the drama, like let him talk. And then on top of that, I felt so bad for Jeremiah. I felt like he was trying to curb his behaviors to match what the cool kids wanted and like change things about himself, and it didn't benefit him. They were still just ostracizing him. No matter what he did, he would have lost. And he said that at one point. He's like, no matter what I did, I was going to be on the outs.
Yep. Ugh.
I think I just jumped to a different thing.
No.
Oh, you know what? You know what's sick? That's my test results. And I would have done that next. Okay, so that's test results. The next one was test results. What is the most released growth? And I thought Jeremiah really showed some growth through his awareness of the fact the cool kid crow was such a bag of dicks, and that they were basically betraying him no matter what he did. And I felt bad that he was growing and changing. It didn't matter.
Yes. I completely agree. And I'm looking at my
testing it. No, test results.
My test results. What did I do? Ace least growth for me. I'm not buying it. Even his coupling with Shelly, like, they were cute together, but I'm not sure about him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he is mean to the other guys. I think he has very little self-awareness about his role and what happens and his impact on people. Yeah. He just comes off like a very petty person. Yeah. And I don't like it.
And he's gaming hard.
Yes.
Which is like what doesn't let you win. Like, people see that and they won't want you to win.
Right. So I'm not a fan of what he's doing. I think he has moments where he's really likable, and I really liked him early on. But the longer it goes, I'm not impressed.
And I like that he's a dancer and stuff. Yeah. Like, I like things about him. But yeah, I totally agree. He does not age well in terms of the show. Yeah. His like cute dimple smirk started to become like an evil, it started to take on a different quality
where you're like, because it was very flirty at first. His whole vibe, I was like, he's just a flirt, like,
cute little flirt. Yeah, and yet was boundaried a little bit, which I liked. He wasn't just like going for whatever was in front of him. I liked that.
But then he was like, I run shit here
so bad, and I tell Amaya that she's too much, and it's like, oh my god. Bad symbolism, bad signals that you're sending people.
Yeah. You use someone as a pawn, and then you get mad when they see that you're making them a pawn.
Like, they call you out on it, so you make it about them. Yeah.
And he probably didn't think that she would call him out, honestly.
No, definitely not. He definitely thought he was like playing chess to her checkers. Like, he clearly did. And that was very off-putting as well, how he was towards Amaya. And then telling Shelly, why didn't you vote out Amaya? He was like, I didn't like her. You should have voted her out. What? Like, Maya has other relationships. Like, you're not even her current relationship. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shelly didn't need to vote her out just because you had a bad relationship a while ago. That was so wild. I was like, okay, self-centered.
I think Shelly's going to see through it eventually.
Me too. And I'm not sure she's with the right guy to do that with. Well, he might be a good like exit
strategy
guy. Yeah, exactly. To get to somebody else. But I don't think he's the long term. I want to be there with him, but he's not. For me, not. I like that he has sisters, but he's just not. It's the quick intellect and intellectual curiosity that I think is missing that she
Yeah.
needs. Yeah.
She needs someone who can meet
Sierra
her.
too. Yeah. They both need that.
Maybe they should just be with each other.
I love it.
I would
And you
ship
know what?
that
They talked
couple.
about that and they made out. Remember how
Yes.
Sierra chose Shelley for the thing to kiss during the challenge, and she's like, I didn't care. I just wanted to get my mouth on her, or whatever. I just wanted to be able to kiss her for finally. And I was like, I love it because we know Shelley's bi and we know Sierra's bi. Get together, fuck these other guys. I love them both.
They see like two very sparkly, intelligent women who are just, I think it's
Emotionally intelligent,
adorable. I love it.
intellectually curious, very like quick, responsive, empathetic. And understand the like undertones of things. Yeah, they're perfect. I love them. I love them both. Yeah, truly.
That's who I'm shipping.
I'm with it. Let's do
Yes.
it. We'll run that campaign because they both clearly want that, or at least I know for sure Sierra's on board with that because she's really sweet. I loved that. I was like, yes, Shelley is amazing. I'm glad you also want to go for Shelley.
Yes.
All right. Next is my personal favorite award. This is the Testosterone Award. Testosterone. This is where somebody got boned by how much testosterone they had. It fucked them up in some way, made the action or situation more patriarchal, white supremacist, even maybe misogynist, and or heterosexist. So, to whom do you think you would give this award such that you think that their testosterone boned them in some way?
I realized I didn't do it. Can you go
I have
first
two.
and I'm going to think?
I have two.
Perfect. You go, and then I'm going to get one.
I love that. Okay.
Sorry,
So-
I did this quickly when I got here.
Oh, no, don't even worry about it.
Dear listeners.
I was also saying you could take one of mine, but yeah, you could. You
so
could
lovely.
You can take your time to decide, or see if you read that in time to take that one.
I might panic.
Okay, yeah,
I
fair.
might panic. It is very possible.
Okay, that's totally fair. We'll see what happens. This is kind of exciting. You never
yes.
know what you're gonna get. So one thing was like the Nick shit felt like a testosterone moment when he basically was like, we're still open to Sierra after they had sex. And even to us in the morning, he was like, it was so meaningful. Like we're moving really fast and I like it. Like I normally wouldn't move this fast, but I really like her and it felt really genuine. And I like that we had sex, even though it was 25 seconds. And like, like he really seemed genuinely like, okay, switched and focused. But he really just like had this thing, this fetish, frankly, for Andreina and her accent and calling him Nicholas or whatever. He just like had a thing for her that he couldn't put down, which again feels like that fetishization of other cultures, similar to Alondria, I suppose. But yeah, so I just felt like he couldn't drop that. So that's why he had to be like, we're still open though. Because it felt very like directly related to Alondria. Yeah, I mean, to Andreina. And I think poor Sierra was like, but...
And then
aren't we
she
like,
was smooth about it too. She was like, I
Smooth as
just think
fuck.
I need to take a step back. And I was like, good for you, girl.
But that's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and that's so often what happens, I think, in relationships too, when like a man's like, I'm not saying I love you yet, or like, I'm not like, whoa, like you're too much. Then like we feel like we have to recede in some way. And then it's like doesn't have the same authenticity. And like for good reason, like he might lose her now because she's sort of like, well, then I don't want to be in this relationship if I feel like I'm moving faster than you. She clearly seems like somebody who tries not to move faster than people. Like she said she was very uncomfortable with the fact that that meant she was moving faster. And I don't blame her. He kind of like did like a, like, I'm still open. So, you know?
What the fuck? I would be like, I think I would be a lot pettier.
I'd
like,
be pissed, yeah. And I think the way he did it was the problem. Like, I think there was a way to do it where it's sort of like, oh my God, that was so meaningful. We're definitely like, I think almost closed. I feel like we might have some loose ends. Let's just like tie them fuckers up. And like, I really see a future with us. So like, let's just get that done so we know for sure we're happy with that future. You know, there's so many ways to do it that could have been more finessed that I think could have been more comfortable for her. But he just was like, well, I'm still open. Like, he's like, this is the point of being here. He's defensively said, this is the point of being here. What?
Boy, bye.
Boy, actually bye. And
Yes.
Elon would never.
No.
So that's a testosterone. I think his testosterone got in the way and his like fetishization of Andreina.
Ooh, I think I got one.
Tell me.
It's a loose thread, but I think I've got it. Okay, so I'm giving it to the producer.
I love it.
And because there's this trope, like, why did I know that Taylor was going to find someone in Casa?
Okay.
Because the producers wanted him to find someone in Casa because they were showing us the moments where him and Alondria were not vibing.
Right.
To make the drama of our beloved, you know, woman. And she has to go through all this bullshit and feel really sad. Right? And like, and like we kind of knew it was going to happen. No one was surprised that Nick jumped.
No, Taylor.
Or Taylor.
But both,
no one
frankly,
was
both.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taylor for sure.
No one was surprised that Taylor jumped ship. It was the most obvious thing in the world.
Right. And big part because they just did not have the chemistry, which is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And also she was like asking for more physical touch. And the fact that she's slow to do physical touch and was still asking him before he was ready to was just like, all right, there's not that good. Yeah, you're right. It was really obvious. That is very production. Testosterone. They're like, we don't want to see you enjoy the drama of her being upset and him getting ready to like jump ship because of his testosterone getting on fire with Clark.
And then let's make this even worse by bringing her back so she can witness it. She's not taking the bait though, which I'm happy for her.
I love it.
I mean, it would be fine if she did too, but I'm happy for their trap. She's not.
Yeah, she's not falling direct, and
it.
she definitely feels it, and she's not giving into it publicly, which I love. I like that. I like that she's able to have those, because there are moments where you're like, who are hurting, but she's not letting production have the drama that they want from it.
Yep.
That reminds me that one of the things I meant to put for best or worst production antic was that they made Alondria. Did I say that during the long hair thing to make him watch Clark? Because I told you that off site, but did I talk about it on here?
I don't remember.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna tell it again just in case it's not. And just so you know, Connor, we can delete it if I said it right. And I can listen to myself actually to make sure. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to say for production ad was that they made Alondria during the competition of the two sides, Casa Amor and the Villa, doing the like people do a thing and then truth or no, it's like they get told to do a thing and which one's better wins the point. During that, they gave Alondria the text where it said the long hair person has to kiss a girl, long hair boy kisses their girl, and she had to watch Taylor kiss a girl in front of her as the long hair person. They gave that text to her, and she's sitting there like, ugh. And that's felt so dog behavior. So I so agree. They're like making the drama around her like a big part of the focus. And that's so shitty because they know that we love her and we want to see her. And it does showcase her strengths. Like that's maybe a gift from it, but like why put her through that so that we can showcase her strength, you know?
Right.
It seems very shitty. I'm totally with that because my second one for testosterone was the bullshit of Nick and Ace sitting there when Taylor was getting along with Clark, talking shit about Alondria. They were like, she's going to go off, da-da-da. And she didn't. So fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But also the way they were like categorizing her and sort of like, oh my gosh, Alondria would never do that. Or did it? I was like, you guys don't even fucking know her. Like back up. It was so gross. It felt so like boys like, oh, Taylor's with, new the new girl, his old girl, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, ugh.
And maybe it's because I'm swooning for Nick now. I feel like Nick really tries to be. You know what I think? I think Nick is a fucking subby pleaser.
Yeah, he's very much.
And I think that Ace is his dom.
Exactly.
And he wants to please.
And he gave it to Jeremiah first.
Yeah.
And then he ended up switching teams to a new dom.
Like, oh, this is the more powerful.
Yeah. And so then now he's doing that with Alondria.
Yeah. And it's kind of hot.
Yeah, it can be hot to watch in doses, but
maybe it's not great.
Maybe not sustainable. Well, I just don't think there's something that he there's something self-pleasing about it that will die out.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah. I love it. It is hotter than him with Ace.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, if they did, it might be hot.
Yeah, no, if they were doing it in that way, I'd be down for that for sure.
I know is what I see.
Yeah, exactly. I see it too. I know. It's exactly, there could be shit we don't know about. Especially because they were pretty hurt when he got kicked out.
Oh my God. They were.
That energy was
sad.
It was very sad. That actually relates to my thing for the next one. No, it doesn't. It's in 2. So go ahead. You ask me for this one. No, I ask you. Oh. No. I did testosterone.
Yes.
You asked me. Okay.
That's right. So next we have the Bechdel test. So this is the most feminist, anti-racist, gay, etc. moment of the week. What do you have?
Fabulous. This is where I had Alondria with Amaya, despite Amaya pretty much dogging Alondria and sending her out. And also like Amaya has like no foot to stand on. Like she had to know that would happen. I don't like that she was like, no one knew this would happen. And the way she was like, Alondria. Like, Alondria was like, Amaya, I'm fine. You're fine. Stop. You're good. Yeah.
Make it stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Without being like, you did this. Like, she did a very good job of staying strong, telling her to shut the fuck up without telling her to shut the fuck up. And still, like, feeling her feelings, but also acknowledging that at least Amaya told her that day. Like, there was a way that she sort of, like, it was so feminist. Beautiful. It, like, kept the closeness of the girl group together. It was really beautiful.
And she didn't do that to, what's that boy's name? I keep forgetting. Who picked Alondria?
Zach.
Yeah.
Amaya.
Picked
Amaya. Yeah, Zach.
He was like, can I pull you? And she was like, no, save your words.
Yes!
I love this.
I loved it so much.
Save your words. It's like we're not that close.
Yeah,
we don't
who cares? Yeah, we're done here. You moved on, I'm moving on.
And she was great. She wasn't mean to him.
No, she's like, we don't need to do this.
I'm not in the mood.
We don't need to do this. You moved on, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Done.
Bye.
Yeah. So
bye.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was feminist energy only. I loved it. It wasn't just like people pleasing. It was feminist. So definitely Bechdel. Thank you for that addition. That's so true. Okay, so what was your Bechdel test?
Oh, I remember. It was Ariana when the new ladies came into the villa and they had to kiss those boys. That's a scary way to come in when you're doing a competition and you're
with the other new girls too.
Yeah, and
like
you're
against
getting
them.
rated. That's intimidating as fuck. I wouldn't do well in that sort of situation. And she was so supportive to them and was like, that was so hot. You did great. Good job, girl. And then when TJ was being like, I hate her, she was like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
What's up with this? Yeah.
And I just thought it was perfect.
It was so supportive. So feminist.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just lovely and really supportive of them. And, you know, obviously she's gotten to know these other women who are now in Casa and she's like building up these people too, which I just love to see it. I thought it was really sweet.
She's not playing favorites. No. She's like loving them too. And because she was doing it, they were doing it for each other. Like I think she created the energy that then allowed them to do it with each other. I thought that was great. Yes. Yeah.
It was
very good vibes. Yeah. I loved it.
And the putting down TJ was perfect.
Yes, it's so good directly to him. He's like, She was like, what's up with that? He's like, I guess I just didn't have, they weren't good kisses. She's like, okay, well they get to be honest with you now too.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
It was like, you go, girl.
Because they get to pick. Yeah. That was so good.
It was,
and no one picked him.
Yep. No one did. Yes.
Justice.
Yes. So
I love that.
That was perfect.
I love that Bechdel test. That's beautiful. Okay, fabulous. That's a good antidote to our testosterone examples.
Indeed.
This next one is the worstest and the bestest of friends, or the detestable and the attestable of friends, which is the best or worst relationship or friendship moments. What did you have there?
Mine's obvious. I'm shipping Alondra and Nick hard because I loved that. I love the way he looks at her. It's crazy chemistry, or it's wild chemistry. I think she's cautious, which is a good thing. And I don't know that they're going to last. But I'm happy because at the beginning I was worried that he was just doing it to stay on the show, which would be the obvious choice. But I don't think he is. I think he really likes her.
Yeah, there is a real chemistry there.
Yeah, it's just, I think we have to see how much.
Yeah, how sustainable.
Yes.
And what happens when they get back in the other villa.
Yeah. I'm hopeful because God, do I love watching those two together. But I'm also ready to be disappointed.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm hopeful because I also think Sierra would be with Elon if they stay together, and that would make me happy.
Yes.
So I hope it works out also for that reason. And then I think the other thing is that Alondra, the other thing that makes it questionable is Alondra does still really like Taylor. Like she talks about him differently even to Nick than she does about Nick. Because
Nick was trying to check in. This is when I kind of fell for their dynamic, because Nick was like, how are you feeling? And then Alondra went right into, well, Taylor and gosh, I keep forgetting Clark. You know, that was tough to watch, obviously. And then Nick was like, well, what about us? And I was like,
he's like, I'm back here.
He clearly likes her. How much is to be determined.
Or like, exactly. How much, and also like how much receiving can she give him, and you know, and like how much does she, I mean, their making out was very, very authentic. Like she was clearly into it too, and so there's clearly a chemistry there, which I like a lot. But I feel like her head is sort of still in the Taylor, because she is such a slow burn person. So I feel like that's part of what she's doing, is developing her feelings slowly.
And the risk is like the Sierra West sort of dynamic. And if that happens, that would be a bummer. And I mean, they're different in that I would not say that Nick and West are the same sort of dude. But although, who knows? Yeah.
There is something about him like taste testing a lot. Like he's kind of moving along. He's got, or like shown interest in so many women unnecessarily. Like just stick with one for a second.
I almost wonder if he's like poly. Like,
that would make sense. And he doesn't feel like he can tell us that directly, but he's just sort of like doing the behavior that would come with being poly on the outside. That would make a lot of sense.
I think that would be good for him. I could also see him being a little fluid, maybe.
Yeah. He definitely bonds well with and seems playful and close with men too. Yeah, definitely. And just the way that he was like here with Clark or Gogo. Oh yeah, it was Clark. He's with Clark when he's coupled up with Clark, but then he's immediately looking at Jaden and telling Jaden because she has the like Dex mark or whatever the thing was on her shoulder. I felt like that was such a like, because he wanted an opportunity to be like, I know what that is.
Yep.
I'm a nurse. I know what that is.
Yeah, I think he's very quick. Even in the challenges, you see how quick he compartmentalizes relationships, which is not a bad thing. But I think for Sierra, she's watching that and she's like, what the fuck?
And he didn't get why she was like, what the fuck? Because he's compartmentalized so hard. Yeah.
I don't know.
Great example. But I'm shipping them too, because hopefully that'll make a difference. Maybe that'll last longer than some of the other. Well, I think Sierra lasts a long time, but hopefully this will be one of the more sustainable ones.
And I love him and Sierra, but I love this more.
Yeah, I do too, because I also like Sierra more with Elon anyway, so I'm good with it. That's a better fit, I think, for all four.
And Taylor needs to go anyway, so not that he needs to go. He's actually good with Clark. I think they're sweet together, but I'm not as invested in his progress at this point.
No, I see him as like I think he's just like early in life experience.
Yes.
Yeah. He has a lot of like emotional intelligence and flirting and maybe sex and like physical attraction, physical affection areas to learn about. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Is it my turn to read?
I think I had worstest and bestest of
I'm
friends.
so sorry.
That's totally fine. I feel like the one thing I actually again picked it's funny because you did the same thing about it's in a different angle, and I did too about Alondria and Amaya. Like I feel like Alondria was a really good friend to Amaya, even after Amaya took Zach. I feel like it was good that Amaya told Alondria about it, but the way that she was like, it's just a wake up call that anything could happen. I was like, you're taking no accountability, none at all. I felt like that was like not good return of friend behavior. You know, it's like, how could you not have known that would happen? And then just the way she talked about it to Zach too, like, oh my God, Zach, you have to understand, like one of the closest people, like she was so strong, like we all loved her, It's like, dude, what? Like, are you not also going to say like, I know you had to pick me, like, thank you for picking me.
Yeah, I know that was probably really tough.
And he's just like, well, I hope you understand, like I had to go with my heart. And she's like, oh, I know, like,
yeah,
like, what? Dude, you wouldn't be here. Yeah, exactly. He did finally say that too. He's like, and you wouldn't be here. She's like, yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh my God, Maya, just a little bit of accountability.
She was almost like overly guilty and then just so defended.
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't able to actually take accountability. Yeah. And that's the thing about her being like, Alondria. And why Alondria was like, oh my, it's fine. Because she's not even really authentically taking accountability. She's not like, oh man, I should have thought more about that. Like, fuck, I really think I should, you know, like, here's where I went wrong, blah, blah, blah. Instead, she's like, oh my God, like, please don't leave. It was like, that's what? She has to leave. Who did this?
Yeah, and own that, like, you did what you had to do.
Yeah, exactly, because you're also playing this game.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and you could even say, like, I didn't think they meant you'd really leave the show. I'm so sorry. Like, and also, like, I hate that, because I definitely did do that just to save myself, and I really like Zach, too, though, but, like, there's so many ways. I think she is young in life experience, too, Amaya, so that's probably part of it. But, yeah, the defensiveness was tough, because then the other version of it, too, was when she said, oh, fuck, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. Okay, here's the other thing. I don't like how she's using her emotionalness as, like, an excuse. Like, she sort of did the thing where she's like, and you know, I'm so emotional, so, like, I can't carry that. You can't carry that you did that to Amaya. How about just don't do that to Amaya? Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're talking about how you're so emotional, so, like, you have to tell Amaya because, you have to tell Alondria, You have to tell Alondria because it's just too much for you to carry. It's like, if it's too much for you to carry, why did you do it? Right. Or like if you did do it, own that like it's emotional because I made that decision. And instead it's just like, oh, I just have to tell you because I'm emotional.
I can't. Yeah.
I just don't like that. Yeah.
I think it is a life experience thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a like right intention, wrong self
strategy. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. She does have that very like authentic, there's an inner core that is there that's caring. And I think the other women see it. That's why they saved her and such too.
An intuitiveness, but like an inability to quite know what to do with it.
Totally. Yeah. And I think she's learning about her emotionality from the show. Like I actually don't think she thought of herself that way necessarily before. Like I think she's learning about the fact she's so emotional, comparing herself to other people, which is good. She's learning like that.
I think in like 2 years, if she were to come back on this show, I think she would be the totally baddest bitch.
Yeah, totally different. She would learn so much from just watching this back too. And yeah, totally bad bitch. And I think a lot of them would be so grown. Will be from watching this. I think that's the point of this other show that was like, they're putting out Love Island Continued or whatever. I know it's kind of fun. I watched the like teaser. It was fun for me. I liked it. So we get to see them having grown from having watched themselves, what they would be like.
Oh my gosh. Intriguing. Exciting to see.
I had a bonus one, by the way, about Worstest and Bestest of Friends, which was just the way that Taylor and Ace were so carelessly hugging each other after Nick went. The way they just like stood there hugging each other. I was just like, that's actually really beautiful. Like I hate them, but I love that. That's really nice. It was like just like completely hugging each other, like wrapped around each other, wouldn't let go. Oh, that's sweet. They're so sad and cute together. And they don't care that they, you know.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, they're ignoring everyone else.
And for two black men and black masculinity.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. It was very like careless. Like they didn't care about the imagery or what anything. I just loved it. I was like, they're so sweet.
So, I like that. That's a great bonus one.
Yeah, it's a little bonus. So the last one, I think. No, you do this. You do.
Oh, yes. The hardest one for us is our testimonials. So this is the best confessional or straight to camera moment.
Fabulous. Yes, it's hard because it's like you remember, like it's hard to know the quotes and things.
Yes.
I try to write things down sometimes with quotes, but it's tough. I do have a quote this time because I happened to catch the way that Amaya said, I have a huge weight of gratitude, which just isn't a phrase that people use. Usually gratitude is a lightness. You feel like grateful for something and it's a positive thing. But it's interesting because at first I was like, that's not an expression. And then I thought more about it and I was like, I guess she kind of does. Like she's grateful she's there, but like she's bummed she's there in the same time, you know, because she's like
It's
sad about
almost
Alondra.
poetic.
It is actually pretty poetic. It definitely wasn't intended that way, but
No.
it is almost poetic. It is actually like related to her experience of like, now I have to feel grateful that I'm here, but like I don't want to feel grateful because I'd rather just not be here. You know, I'd rather Alondra be here and it not be my fault. But you can't even say that, you know, because you can't own that it's her fault Alondra's gone. So it's sort of an interesting like subconscious poeticism.
Good on ya. We love it for you, Amaya.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes gratitude is a weight.
Yes, exactly. This is a good example of gratitude having some weight to it.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Alondria and how she talked about leaving the villa and how grateful she was for her time, how poised she was, and the way she talked about the whole experience. Like most people, I think, who were day one and such clear fan favorites, I think would have felt I sure would have felt entitled to be more petty and like, this is bullshit. Fuck you. What's his name? God, Zach.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach. Fuck you, Zach. Like, how could you do this to me? She did not do that.
No.
She wasn't overly nice to him either.
Right.
Thinking like, oh, if the fans might think. She was just like herself.
No. Yeah.
And
wasn't fucking with it.
Yeah. And it was lovely. I mean, you know, if she would have had big emotions, that would have been lovely too. But I think she highlighted her strength because of all she's been through and highlighted post-traumatic growth.
Yeah, totally.
If we want to frame it that way.
Totally. Because there is a way in which it doesn't feel like shut down.
No.
Like she still seems emotionally present in those moments. She's able to call things out, be aware of them. And so it doesn't feel like that numbness that can come from trauma where you deal with those kinds of emotions by shutting down. There are moments where I felt a little bit like she was shut down, but there were just moments. Whereas more so, she's like, okay, but here's what's happening and I get it, da-da-da. And she did finally cry straight to camera, and she hadn't with the girls. So it's like she felt like she had to be strong for them, almost like she would be if she was an older sister for girls. Like she would have to learn to like hold it together. But then when she was away from them, was able to be a little bit more emotional. The same way she was able to be emotional with Taylor, but not other. So there's something interesting about her with the girls. She has like a paternal dynamic.
Transference.
Yeah.
It was sweet. She was very kind to Amaya.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't have to be.
No, certainly did not.
Yeah.
I bet she saw the part of Maya that's well intended inside there. But yeah, you're right. Her exit interview was beautiful. It was very moving.
Yeah. And because of the way that Amaya comes off, I think it would have been easy for her to not be so nice or to be like, stop making this about you.
Like, this isn't about you, Maya. Right.
Which would have been fair.
Yeah, exactly.
And she made a different choice, which is really cool too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the way she handled it was really beautiful and mature and just sort of like keep it moving.
Yep.
And then being able to talk about it with us more emotionally.
And then have sexy makeouts with Nick. Wherever they go.
Yes, exactly. Even if it's a steamy couple days. That's still important. And maybe that teaches her something about Taylor.
Yes.
What's not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because fuck that.
No. Not here for it.
No.
We need someone who wants to like enjoy her because she's like a beautiful woman. And it's like sad the way that he just sort of is like, he's like, I think of him as just always sitting sideways.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He doesn't like sit like towards anybody. He just like sits square. And it's like not helpful.
And for whatever reason, him and Clark, they just they seem to understand each other better. And he's more in.
Yeah. I was noticing the way she like stops talking and they just stare at each other. I don't think we saw that as much with Alondria. And I wonder if that's a part of it. Yeah. They get like intimacy through that. Yeah. I felt like that was an overstep. Was it Nick that said, was it about Taylor where he was like, well, Taylor said, or like, I think he even said, he said, Taylor said that he has a good connection with you, but he has a physical connection with Clark. And we never saw him say that. Like, it was like clear, but he didn't say that to him, or it seemed like that. But
that was
Taylor
like
said that to him. Yeah, he like added that data point. And I was like, okay. It's a good way to have it so that Alondria wants Nick, because he's like being like, he's out of here because he has a physical relationship with Clark. But now we can have one. Self-serving.
A little self-serving.
Yeah.
Hopefully not for the most wrong reasons.
Exactly, yeah. Because I do see that sometimes. It happens on The Valley, too. Or, like, you know what? On Summer House, I said this about Amanda. Sometimes people, like, make interpretations about other people's behavior without, like, really knowing. And they're very, like, sure of it. They're like, this is what's happening with this person. And I think that's one of the things you learn by becoming a psychologist is that, like, you don't ever really know. So, like, the way you phrase it is, like, one thing that could be happening, you know? And so, and the way that he's so surely, like, that's what led to Nick saying, he said this. He didn't say that, but you feel sure that's an interpretation you can make.
See that's what, and to be fair, I think
he's
that
not
is
wrong.
What's happening.
Yeah, he's probably not wrong.
That's not what Taylor said.
Exactly, yeah. So it's interesting to see that how that can manifest differently. Because he could probably remember Taylor saying that even because he's so sure he saw it. You know, it's like we can do that with our brains too, self-servingly.
My partner's brother has gotten out of jury duty multiple times by being like, I don't believe in witness testimony.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he's trying to get out of jury duty.
No, it's just how he feels.
He's like, I don't believe in witness testimony because witnesses aren't reliable.
Absolutely
Memories
not.
not
Memory
reliable.
is absolutely not. Yeah. Memory is completely fallible.
So if you want to get out of it, I think that's a good way too.
Yeah.
But,
and we can also say we're psychologists. That usually gets us out of it.
Yeah.
And then, like I've seen jury selection where there's just like about 100 things you could say where they'd be like, probably not. You know, it's just like, if you just say like, I don't believe in cops, like, you know, or whatever. There's like a lot of things. I don't believe in society. But yeah, totally. Witness testimony is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, so is, like fingerprinting has been debunked. And then so has blood analysis has been debunked. There's a lot of types of like evidence that are totally bullshit. And the like, obviously the meter. What's that? Truth. What? This guy.
Oh, the lie detector.
Yeah, lie detectors have been debunked.
Ass.
Yep, a bunch of debunking. And yeah, the witness testimony stuff came out with a lot of the cognitive research, and I love that research. It's so interesting in social psych, but thinking about the way that like our memory is self-serving, and each moment that we remember something, it's affected by what moment you're in and who you're talking to and who you are that day versus like who you were the first time it happened. You can remember something completely differently for 100 reasons, and most of the time it's because of self-serving reasons. Why not? Why not enjoy life because you're like this? You know, it's a way of enjoying life. Fuck it, you're shaping it how you want to benefit from it.
If you remember everything that actually happened, it probably isn't so self-serving.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
and that's why whenever you disagree with something about something that happened, it's probably you're both wrong. It's somewhere in the middle.
You probably missed parts of the stimulus,
and so did they.
And I just think about cops too. Like when I see a fucking cop and I'm driving, I clam up. I'm acting weird. I'm more on the brake. Yeah. It's like, I can't imagine being in an interview situation with a fucking cop. And then, like, I don't know what I'd say.
Yeah. Or what you remember. Or what you remember. Because you could remember things. If you're, like, the way they coerce testimonies, like, or confessions, like, if you're in there for 24 hours, no water, no food, or just water, whatever, and cops are like, come on, you know you did.
We all know.
Right. At some point, you're like, I must have, I guess. Like, it just is, it's easy to see how that would coerce people's memories. Same thing with like people that do like memory recall for sexual violence. It's sort of like if you're pushing a client through leading language to remember something, it will be affected by that language.
Yep.
It's like dangerous. Memory is dangerously fallible.
So be aware of it, friends.
Just enjoy your moment. Enjoy the moment. Fuck memory. Get stoned.
It's not real. Get stoned.
Yeah, get stoned.
Have fun. Be kind.
Yeah, be kind is the big one.
Yes.
So true. Because we're all struggling with that fallible memory, and yet so many of us like are so wanting to be right, exactly, and wanting to be like, no, this is what happened. It's like, who fucking knows? Who cares?
The more sure people are, the actually less I
trust them.
I'm like, how could you be sure?
Exactly. Like automatically I'm like, no. Like, no, you can't possibly know that's exactly what happened, or like that, you know, even if you have like a good memory of it, it just doesn't work like that. You know, our memories are gonna change over time, and thank God they do, because how could you remember every single detail of every single thing? You'd go crazy. You know, you'd have no room for the moment, actually.
Zero.
It's like stacked up, all these like facts stacked up in your head. Experiences. Okay, let's go enjoy some lawn games.
Yay!
So we have also enjoyed this day with you all, or afternoon, and let me tell you about some things. You can come on to our Patreon.com.
Remember these things.
They're important. And if you're watching the video, you're going to see that they're written up and helping you with it. I'm helping you with it. So patreon.com/realitytest. You can also go in the search bar and search at Reality Test on Patreon. Come and hang out. It's $5 a month. You definitely get a shout out. Might get a free year of membership. That's it's $260 worth of membership. You know you want it. Then there's also things like our Instagram at Dr. K Pods and at Dr. Ray Pods, and our TikTok at dr.realitv, REALITV. YouTube and Facebook are both Reality Test Pod. YouTube is the at Reality Test Pod for our channel. And last but not least, you can email us at realitycheckpodding, PODDING, @gmail.com.
Yes. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and to join us on Patreon to get extra really cool stuff. And if you are not in a financial place to do that right now, again, like telling your friends and rating and reviewing are super helpful. So we thank you so much for listening.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. And we love you. We'll see you next session. Bye.